Zero. Okay, as Michael said, I'm responsible for the UK packaged goods business for Sega. I've worked in the UK packaged goods industry for 15 years. And those of you that are traditional people will understand, well, I think we've all got something in common. We know what we're going through, especially this year. But for the last 2 years, I've had the responsibility of delivering Sega's digital revenues across US and EMA on the PC titles. We've got a great range of PC titles, especially with two of the biggest franchises, with Football Manager and Total War. And the last 2 years have been an incredible learning curve. The title, Packaged and Digital Evolution, doesn't mean digital shunting packaged out the way. It means how they're going to work together. Digital can support packaged. And as Mike said in his earlier slide, packaged is a very, very relevant business going forward. There's also a slight sort of play on words there because I too am packaged. And I'm hopefully going through a digital evolution as well. The packaged isn't going to leave me, but the digital is going to supplement my expertise and hopefully my future career, Nicholas. I've been to LGC before, and sitting down on that side watching it, there are three things that I like to come away with or hope to. One is I hope to leave LGC knowing a little bit more than I did when I came. Secondly, I want to have the ability to stand at the bar afterwards and talk with a bit of credibility with my peers, all of you who are sitting here. And three, I want to be able to go back to the office and have confidence with my boss. Because certainly in the world of digital, it's happening to all of us at the same time. And our bosses are no different to any of us. I think if I can contribute to any of you in that way, I'll have done a good job. So here goes. We know this. Things have changed, and there are lots of logos coming up on the screen, and there are loads more that I haven't been able to put on the screen. But going from left to right, we see that we've got a linear industry. We're moving from a linear industry. Games in boxes, sold at retail, delivered, played on consoles. And there are new ways of playing, there are new ways of visualizing the games, there are new business models. And every time a new content delivery method appears, a new business model appears. And certainly what I've gone through in the last 2 years is trying to ask questions about all of these elements. I mean, it's digital, right? We need to understand what's going on. And the biggest lesson that I've learned is the more questions that you ask, the more questions that you get. And it really makes your head hurt. So being a traditional guy, I've sort of had to go around to the things that are, easiest for me to know. And the easiest thing for me to know is where the money is, I guess. And this is a chart, and you might see 8 different presenters with 8 different charts of revenues, and this is taken from multiple sources, and it tells us that the industry is going to grow overall. From 2010 to 2015, it's going to grow. These figures are in dollars and are relevant for the West, so US and EMEA. It tells us right now that, packaged for 2010, the packaged business was about $21.5 billion. However, digital or non-packaged businesses was about $11.5 billion. Now, overall in 2015, the industry could grow to be $35 billion. It could be higher. I heard on the radio yesterday that every year our industry is going to grow 17%, every single year, which makes this chart rather redundant. But ultimately, we're seeing a shift of packaged and digital. And this indicates that around about 2015, as I think most people are acknowledging, is probably the year that they start to become equal and maybe start to take the shift towards non-packaged. But I've classified gaming in 3 different ways. And that's always been one of the challenges for me as well over the last 2 years, is you talk about all the different business models and the different areas where games are delivered. I've put them into 3 different areas here. Quite straightforward, package, we know what that is. Mobile, and for mobile I'm considering iOS, Android, tablet, so any of the new mobile devices. And for digital, it's everything else. If we take that chart from before and look at it a different way, this will tell us that package is anywhere between 65 and 70% of our industry right now. Digital, about a quarter. Mobile, just under 10%. For 2015, the non-package is going to grow. It's the biggest growth area. But if you talk to somebody from the music industry and they see that in 4 years' time you're going to have 50% of your business in packaged, I think they'd be pleasantly surprised. So I think that's a good solid figure. Some people will tell you 45%, others will tell you 60%. So some of these figures do change. The important thing is that digital and mobile are growing. And I'm going to look at just the digital element. And of course, you can break down that a little bit further. Within digital, there are 6 subsections. Online gaming, which you all know, World of Warcraft, PC casual, so Pogo.com, social network, games like Farmville, online consoles, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, etc. Cloud, so Gaikai, Playcast, OnLive. And the bit that I'm going to talk about, or spend a little bit, is the PC download. There's a reason why I'm focused on PC download. Well, two reasons, really. One, that's the part of business I look after. And secondly, it's currently the part of business that closely reflects the redistribution of a game that we've been familiar with for the last 15 years. It's a game in a box. It's a AAA, great piece of content, sells at full price, redistributed in a different way. And the difference that digital gives us is how that content can be enhanced and how that content can go from being a day one release to an ongoing service. And not only can we release the AAA content, but it's influenced the items that we can deliver. You may have seen slides like this before, 3 different sizes of content. And on the left, we have a fantastic game in the Total War franchise, which is a BAFTA award-winning franchise developed by one of the world's greatest studios, Creative Assembly, based in Horsham. We have Shogun Total War. To support that, we've got 2 smaller pieces of content, snack size and bite size. This is DLC. And the biggest change to that is they're delivered digitally, and Shogun is delivered both packaged and digitally. You know, the answer, I guess, that you want to hear is that Shogun 2 is bigger digitally than packaged, but actually it isn't, so don't write that down. So we're not there yet. But as a franchise, this survives packaged and digital, and it needs those components to grow. Everybody's been looking at the PC market and seeing the decline. These components, it will grow. And that has an interesting impact on how a franchise performs. Using an index of 100, so I'm not sizing the market here, I'm using an index of 100. On the left, you'll see package, that's in the grey. On the right, you'll see orange, digital. This is the Total War franchise since 2006 across the US and across the European markets. For package and for digital, I've taken every piece of content in volume that we've sold and I've added it together, and I've just rolled on the year-on-year performance to see just the behaviour. Put simply, if you invested £100 in, let's say, the Bank of Total War, in the special packaged account, if you invested that in 2006, you came to see me at the end of this year for your return, I'd give you £90 back. I'd say, hard luck, you've only lost £10. If you'd have come in 2009, you'd have made £40. If you'd have invested in the digital account of Total War, I'd be giving you back £14,000 at the end of 2011. And, you know, I think that's quite astounding. If we add these together, you see an erratic curve with package, you see quite a clear curve with digital. You add them together, the franchise is growing. Now, you can apply this to console as well. You could have Modern Warfare 3 in place of Shogun 2, and then you can have all the map packs as the digital content. Together, they grow. This is a Total War franchise digitally. We like retail. Retail are very, very important to this, but you will not find that at retail. Where on the left, we have the AAA, the supersized pieces of Total War content. And as we go out, we see all the additional content that supports this. That's one franchise. That's 3 different size pieces of content. That's 21 pieces of content available. And the interesting thing is that we see that that content sells every day. It doesn't sell less every day. Some of it might, but generally the overall trend is that people want to buy into it. And the smaller scale of DLC actually engages players for longer. They're not leaving the franchise, they're staying with the franchise. It's the crossover from making it a day one hit-driven business, which is all the content on the left, to an ongoing service. People stay, people talk, people share the experience they're having, and they attract more people to the franchise. And this, for me, is the biggest single difference about taking a traditional publisher forward in the digital age. Excuse me. So, just summarising, I've spoken about the content. You have a AAA franchise, something that you deliver every single year or 2 years, and it's strung together with digitally delivered content that keeps the user, keeps the consumer engaged, builds the base. The delivery mechanism, it is retail, it's digital as well, and there are many other areas of delivery as well, as we'll see in a minute. But also the consumer, we've talked already about putting the consumer first. The consumer wants content. They want access to content. and the ability to access content is surrounding them. So it's moved on. It's a lot different than it was even 18 months ago. But we don't have one franchise, and there isn't just one method of delivery. So our challenge is to reach the consumer with all of our franchises. And we'll keep filling up the content pipeline along the top, and the consumers will always be there. They'll grow up, and new consumers will get introduced into the games market. And the delivery channel will grow as well. So whether it's retail as a delivery channel, or as a platform, or as a CRM device, or whether it's Sony, or whether it's Nintendo, Microsoft, or even Sega, we have to understand how we put new content through and we really harvest the migration from platform to platform. Another one of our pieces of content, Football Manager, is available currently on 4 different platforms. It's online, either digitally or packaged. It's on Apple via iOS, on either iPad or iPod. You can get it on Sony via the PSP channel, and you can get it on retail. So summarising, the software market will grow, and these figures say it will grow by 8% from 2010 to 2015. Again, probably undercooking it, really. All sectors are strong. 50% packaged is fantastic. However, it has to have a digital component. If you're working for a company right now, a traditional publisher, that doesn't have a good program of DLC for all of its major franchises, have a word with a little bit of confidence to your bosses when you go back to the office. You probably need it. And all our franchises should be multiple platform. If you ask an 11-year-old what platform they were playing on a year ago, it was probably the Nintendo platform. If you ask them now, it might be Nintendo, it'll be iOS, probably PC, maybe PS3. We need to deliver content across multi-platform outlets, and that's mainly because the multi-platform consumer is there. They want content, they'll take it everywhere. Content is around them, and it's up to us how to deliver it, how to monetize it, how to make it a quality experience. And all of that added together, the biggest change we're going from, we don't release games and sell them once, sell them on one day anymore. It's an all-year-round business, and there's nothing wrong with that. Invest in the franchise, invest in packaged content, invest in digital content, and just grow the market. And that's me. So, thank you very much.